Hey guys, I'm making this video in hopes to help someone out there that possibly might end up in the same situation I am right now. It's not fun, but I'm going to do it and hopefully win the case tomorrow.
Story time, story time, story time.
What happened was a little over 2 months ago, I was pulled over by a cop.
Double bacon cheeseburger, it's for a cop.
I'd already drove by this cop twice at like 5 miles an hour. I'm in a parking garage. And then I was stopped, and that's when he came over there. Pulls in front of me, gets out of his car. I'm thinking he's just going to come over there and ask me about the ruckus. It gets a lot of attention. People don't even know what it is half the time. So I'm thinking he's just going to talk to me about that. He's like, you know, where are your blinkers? And I said, you know, my hands. And he says, Florida law states that you have to have both your hands on the bars at all times. How are you going to do that and abide by that law? I can't. You got me there. He says, it's $500 a blinker. Wow. Wow. So I don't have any on the front, and the two on the rear are in my turtle head light, and they're not even hooked up. Then he says, and tell me what's wrong with your tag compared to all these other vehicles out here. It's the opposite direction. Yeah, that's a $1,000 fine, he says. Okay, so we're already up to $3 grand. Great. And he says, your tag's not illuminated. I said, I don't ride at night. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're riding at dusk or dawn, he says, you know. Like, you gotta have it illuminated. Fine. Okay, you got me there. And one time he said, I can't let this thing leave here. And I'm thinking, great. So, I gotta get a tow or what? I don't know. But he does bring me a ticket. Not for $3 grand. For $114. Said he was cutting me a break. He wrote me up for a ticket under the statute 316.605. It's licensing of vehicles. It says, I'm going to skip the first part because that's very important, but I'm going to skip it, trust me. It says, vehicle license plates shall be affixed and displayed in such a manner that the letters and numerals shall be read left to right, parallel to the ground. No vehicle license plate may be displayed in an inverted or reverse position, or in such a manner that the letters and numbers and their proper sequence are not readily identifiable. So basically, he's right. He's saying it has to be left and right, red, left and right, and it has to be parallel to the ground. Okay, like I said, I left out the first part of that sentence. It says, except as provided by, and then it lists another statute. So like I said, this statute here is for licensing of vehicles. All vehicles. This right here. All trucks, cars, all that. Except as provided by in statute 316.2085. Go to that one. That is riding on motorcycles or mopeds. Bingo, that's what I have. It's a ruckus. The license tag of a motorcycle or moped may be affixed horizontally to the ground so that the numbers and the letters read from left to right. It says, may be affixed that way. The next sentence says, alternatively, a license tag for a motorcycle or moped for which the numbers and letters read from top to bottom may be affixed perpendicularly to the ground. That's me. But basically, there's my tag right there. It is bent. I don't know if that's legal, but there it is. All right? So these turtle head lights, what they do is the middle is a brake light, and there's like 3 LEDs on each side devoted to the blinkers. And then what I'm going to do for my front blinkers, I have seen where people mount them on the sides here, and that's actually not legal. They need to be mounted in the front. just like they are, you know, when they come on the stock Ruckus, they're actually right here, mounted to this, but this has been shaved. So I could mount some smaller ones right here, but I found a guy online that he'll take your light apart and he'll put in a like a amber surround in here, and he can double them up, make them real thick so it's brighter. And then I got to get, you know, some kind of control switch up here along with the relay. The cop was right. It used to be illegal. The law was changed on September 1st, 2010. I did my research. I called Sinclair Law, because they were pretty much the only law firm that actually put something out there. He tells me I got nothing to worry about tomorrow. I am a little worried, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But basically, in simple terms, you can have a vertical license plate. According to them, if you have a transponder, a toll transponder affixed to the motorcycle, I should be good in his mind, in his eyes. But what worried me was when I went in to contest the ticket, you know, they give you a court date. And basically it says that by requesting this hearing, I forfeit the right to pay the civil penalty. So the $114, no more. The hearing official may impose a penalty of up to $500 plus court costs. In cases involving a motorcycle, attaching tag improperly will result in a fine of $1,000 plus court costs for the first offense. That's what I'm looking at. I don't want to pay $1,000 when I could have paid $114. When I think they're wrong anyway. Like I hope the judge is educated. I hope what I have here is enough to convince him that the cop is wrong in giving me the ticket. We shall see. Got about to go in. My stomach is in knots. I got my paperwork. All I can do is cross my fingers and hope for the best. Here we go. Da, 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 da. Well, that did not go as planned. I'll save all the details for when I get home. So I'm back home, and I wish I was coming to you right now and being like, gotcha, psych, just kidding, I won my case, we're all good. But that's not the case. The truth of the matter is, I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law and the law won. The judge asked me if I had any questions for the officer. I said no. That's when the officer got to kind of say, you know, his side of the story. And he submitted a picture of my ruckus into evidence. When he handed it to the judge had just asked me, do I plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
I plead the fifth.
I said, not guilty. And he's looking at me. He's looking at the picture. He's looking at me. He's looking at the picture. He's thinking, what do you mean not guilty? It's right here in front of my face. And that's when I decided, you know, I read the statute and how, in my opinion, you can have it vertical, you know, and he just basically looked at me and said, that's not the law. The law is, if the plate reads from top to bottom, as in T, H, P, Z, 0, you know, as opposed to turning it and reading it, because that's what I told him. I said, well, it reads top to bottom if you turn it sideways. He and some people behind me in the courtroom laughed. But that was what I was told. That was what I thought was to be true. But he did pronounce me guilty, and I had to pay the fine, plus court cost fees, basically $150. So, you know, I'm lucky that it wasn't the $1,000 that he could have imposed. Moral of the story, save yourself a lot of time, headache, money. Don't run your tag like this. Run it like this. Learn from me.